Center, brought to you by DirecTV and AT&T Wireless. Reach out on the wireless service America trusts. AT&T Wireless.
Verdell Jones from, oh my goodness, one more time, Verdell Jones. This is the state junior high school championship in Champaign. His team was down. He won it from 80 feet.
It's nice when you're 12 years old to do that. It's our call of the day from the National Turkey Calling Championship. You saw Preston Pittman, now Jimmy Pollard winning the senior division.
I love doing it, even when you're not successful. Just being here with the guys, they're my family. I love these guys. That's why I do this sport.
It's always emotional when you get in there, and I'm telling you what, you get a turkey in the right dulcet tones, and the tom will just walk right in. I swear to God. Look good up some mashed potatoes and a little stuffing, by the way.
Hey, Pops Mensa Bonsu. It's required. He had 9.6 boards. GW rocked Duquesne. More college hoops right now. Dave Rebson, Doug Gottlieb,
Southern Illinois, Hawaii.
Have fun.
For just the 14th time in 41 years, the SIU Arena is sold out. They were scalping tickets at more than 5 times face value in Carbondale. A fitting capper to a great Bracket Buster Saturday, presented by the United States Marines. Hawaii visiting number 21, Southern Illinois. The Salukis riding a 13-game winning streak into this one. They have already clinched their 3rd straight Missouri Valley Conference regular season title. The Rainbow Warriors in a dogfight, as you can see in the WAC. Dave Rebson, Doug Gottlieb with you. Our Star Watch, Doug, focusing on the backcourt.
Yes, it starts in the backcourt, Dave, and Michael Kubler. 20 points or more 12 times this season. The scouting report on him is he can flat out shoot the rock. And when it comes to do everything guards, how about Darren Brooks? Leads the Salukis in scoring, rebounding, assists, steals, and he's 2nd in blocks. This guy, we've seen him play against Creighton. He's phenomenal.
He's 6'3". He leads the Missouri Valley Conference in offensive rebounds. That tells you everything you need to know about Brooks' game. The opening tip goes to the Rainbow Warriors. This is Phil Martin. Now out top to Kubler, who we highlighted. Logan Lee. Southern Illinois, a tenacious defensive team. Lee tries for 3, can't hit it. Brad Korn has the rebound for the Salukis, and here comes SIU. Stetson Hairston into the front court.
And here's where the Salukis are effective. They limit your offensive looks, and then they try and push the ball, get quick, easy baskets. If not, pull it out, run some offense.
Hairston not there with the 3, and the rebound comes to Hawaii.
Look for the point of pressure, Dave, where the Salukis pick you up defensively. They start at the half-court line and just try and eat you alive.
This is Blackett with a jumper on the way. That doesn't go. And the rebound is Stetson Hairston. Now Harris giving it up in transition. Sylvester Willis into the lane. And we've got to travel. For Riley Wallace's Rainbow Warriors, we told you about Kubler. Jeff Blackett getting just his 2nd career start as regular starting center. Chaim Shimonovich is out with a knee injury. Wallace in his 17th season at Hawaii, 8 of their 11 postseason appearances under Riley Wallace. The speed inside, and Phil Martin hits the hanger.
Little triangle look. You get the pick and roll coming out of the corner. You hit the roll man when they W. Very simple offensive set by Hawaii. They run everything from a set offense, no pure motion in the Rainbows game.
Now Hairston being harassed, and it's stolen away by Kubler. Michael Kubler. He has it stolen by Stetson Hairston. It goes out of bounds. It'll go to SIU. For the Salukis, in addition to Brooks, keep an eye on Brad Korn. He wears number 13, 6'9", can shoot the 3, though. Stetson Hairston, a career-high 23 Wednesday against Evansville.
Lineup made mostly of slashers, with the exception of Korn, who is their perimeter jump shooting threat.
And on cue, he misses that one. The rebound, though, missed by Willis. It goes out of bounds. And it's going to go to SIU. Matt Painter having a tremendous first season at Southern Illinois, taking over for Bruce Weber, Doug.
Easy, big fella, on those wins. I mean, you're killing your winning percentage. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's going to expect you to go 21-2 to start every year.
Looks like that should have been a 5-second call, and that's exactly what we get. Southern Illinois unable to get the ball in. Only Jamie Dixon at Pittsburgh has a better first-year record than Matt Painter.
Yeah, and Steve Hawkins doing a terrific job at Western Michigan. They got to win today. Murray Bartow at East Tennessee State, they got to win today. So first-year coaches making some noise this year, especially in the mid-majors.
This is Kubler. This is what he does best. The three ball. He misses that one. It's batted around, and it's going to go to Southern Illinois. SIU being held scoreless so far, though, down 2-0.
And they have a tendency to do this today. They have a tendency to have these scoreless droughts. They'll sub a lot of players in. They're going to bring in Jamal Tatum, who's a point guard, more of a scoring threat than Brian Turner is. And Hawaii, a little bit underrated defensively. You know, they hold teams to 40% shooting from the field, which is a solid effort at the defensive end. Sometimes they really defend and hold teams in the 30s. Sometimes it's about 50. There's really no middle room for Hawaii.
That is what Darren Brooks does as well as anyone in the country.
Yeah, under slasher in the dictionary, there's Darren Brooks' picture.
3 in the game, as you mentioned, Jamal Tatum. Joseph Lamaro and number 5 in for Southern Illinois. Now a near steal, and Logan Lee gets it back. Jumper no good by Blackett. It's tipped around, and the Bows get it back but turn it over. Lamaro, and he gets 2.
Lamar Odom is the favorite of the Dogs crowd. The Salukis have great student fan support. And he actually went out there before the game, tried to get them fired up, and he actually wrote a note to the students in this paper they handed out, said, hey, folks, we want to handle ourselves to class tonight.
Yeah, Matt Painter made a big point talking to the fans before the game about the behavior he wanted to see out of them.
Watch the curl here from Darren Brooks, taking the ball to the rack, and look how he uses the hand to protect himself. And here's Owen. He's terrific at driving the ball to the basket. Actually was Mr. Soccer in Kentucky in high school.
It's not a combination you see very often, but yes, a former Mr. Soccer growing up in Owensboro, Kentucky. 4-2 lead now for Southern Illinois. Shot clock under 10. Kubler gets it inside. Phil Martin nowhere to go with it. He feeds it down low, and they get 2 out of Vidotis Pachuskis.
Very nice inside passing there from Martin as he turns, takes a look.
Pachuskis coming off a career-high 14-point game in their loss to Boise State on Wednesday. The guy they will need to contribute, as we said, their starting center, Chaim Shimonovich, is out of this game. Owen missing in the rebound to Lee. Shimonovich is going to rejoin the team for their game against UTEP on Monday. Now Pachuskis misses that time, and here comes Mr. Soccer. Lamar Owen in transition, and Pachuskis fouls him.
That's really the strength of the Salukis team. They make you miss, and they try and push in transition. That's where they're effective scoring the basketball. Off misses, off steals.
It's a team that creates a lot of offense off its defense. Right now, not a whole lot of offense from either team. A 4-4 tie in Carbondale.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball, presented by the United States Marine Corps. The change is forever. And in part by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com. And McDonald's.
Dave Remsen, Doug Gottlieb. We are back in Carbondale, Illinois. A 4-4 game so far. And Doug, as you take a look at this one, it's a game where both these teams have a ton to play for.
Yeah, they have a ton to play for. Hawaii, they really need to win these next 2 ball games. They play here tonight, playing against a 25 RPI team in Southern Illinois, and then they play at UTEP Monday night. Need to win both these games to get themselves back in the hunt for an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament. But the Salukis, they're playing for a seed now. I think they're in the NCAA tournament. RPI is at 25, but you want to be a top 5, top 4 seed keeps you here regionally, and I think that's what Southern's playing for tonight.
Yeah, Southern Illinois clearly, it seems, will be in the NCAA tournament again, undefeated in the league. But you're absolutely right about Hawaii. They're 2-1 against the RPI top 50, and they have a chance to get 2 top 50 wins in the next 3 days. As Brooks misses right there, and now a steal, and Southern Illinois again trying to create some offense out of the defense. This is Tatum. That's not there, but the offensive rebound goes to Brooks, and it will stay with SIU.
Perfect series that epitomizes what Darren Brooks does. He drives to the basket. Yes, he misses what should have been an easy finish. But then he steals the basketball, gets his team another possession. Then he gets an offensive rebound. He leads the Missouri Valley Conference at only 6'3" in offensive rebounds. This kid's terrific. Right now, likely the conference player of the year.
And Matt Painter just absolutely loves him. A kid who is not highly recruited. Southwest Missouri State, Arkansas, Little Rock, about the only ones looking at him coming out of St. Louis. But he has turned into a tremendous player for them. Matt Painter says if there were no three-point line, this guy would always be a guy you pick first. Southern Illinois able to call a timeout there before the 5-second call. Actually, it was a 5-second call. I beg your pardon. As it was a turnover there, Doug. Second time they've been unable to get the ball in.
Yeah, Hawaii went over the inbounds plays for the Salukis ad nauseum in their shoot-around today. Actually went 5-on-5, picked each other up. No tape, but went at it at full speed.
Jason Carter missing there. And the ball goes out of bounds. It's going to stay with Hawaii. Hey, don't forget, Monday night, we will bring you doubleheader action. First at 7 Eastern, Villanova meeting 20th-ranked Syracuse. And then at 9, Wayne Simeon and the 20th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks facing Brandon Mouton and Texas. All part of Judgment Week presented by Cisco Systems. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
Phil Martin with the big tip in, and that's what Hawaii needs. Just a couple of easy, ugly baskets. Get this crowd off their back.
Jamal Tatum answering on the other end for SIU. So it's a 7-6 lead now for the Salukis. This is Julian Sensley, great slasher. Not really been involved in the offense much so far. Now Carter throws it away. Carter, a guy who can be up and down, to say the least, Doug.
Yeah, to say the least. He will drive you nuts, and he will make you love him. But, you know, Carter's a guy, Jason Carter's a guy who, even his coach, Riley Wallace, said he's kind of an accident waiting to happen. But on the other hand, we saw him again in a tape against UTEP, where he just went crazy, hit for double figures in the first half.
He's a fascinating story. Had to drop out of high school at age 15 as Hawaii turns it over. This is Carter. And now on the break, he leaves it for Pachuskis, who lays it in.
This is big. This crowd is absolutely bonkers once the Salukis got introduced. But Hawaii's been able to kind of ugly it up, keep an early lead, keep this crowd sitting down, and not become a factor in this ballgame.
Finishing the story on Carter, his father was battling multiple sclerosis. Josh Warren hitting inside. Carter took care of him basically around the clock, was out of school for 2 years before he was discovered playing in a pickup game by a Gary, Indiana city councilman named Chuck Hughes. Got him to return to school, return to basketball, and now he's found his way into a Hawaii uniform. And as you said, kind of an up and down guy for this Hawaii team. Pachuskis. And they call the offensive foul.
Pachuskis drives to the basket. That looked like a good call. Good call. You get your feet planted. That's Jamal Tatum, the true freshman from Jefferson City. Outstanding high school prospect that was looked at by a bunch of big schools. And he kind of stuck his hips in there. But, you know, hey, that's what happens when you're at home. You put your feet on the ground, you set your body. Sometimes you're going to get the call.
Second foul on Pachuskis would give them a nice spark off the bench.
How'd you like to make a call in front of the student section?
They're a little pumped up, to say the least. Now Korn. He turns it over, so it's been a sloppy first half so far, Doug.
It's been sloppy, but this is how Hawaii needs to stay in this game. Kind of keep it sloppy, then get in their offensive sets.
Now the turnover, the great steal by Young. And Tony Young, the redshirt freshman, lays it in.
Tony Young, absolutely a great on-ball defender. 3 games in a row, he's made his offensive player fall down while dribbling the basketball without fouling. It's a true sign of frustration offensively when you can pick somebody's pocket or just make them fall down.
Now Kubler.
Hawaii is unable to get into any of their offensive sets, and they're really not screening well enough to get open looks.
Kubler with the shot on the way, and the foul is called. It's going to go against Young.
Tony Young, the redshirt freshman. This is a program that likes to redshirt players, get them more strength, get them more athletic ability. And Tony Young, look at the strength of those arms, be able to keep possession of the basketball by using his off arm. Absolutely an outstanding steal and an easy bucket.
Kubler, the second leading scorer in the WAC. Those his first points. See, it's number 1 basically unrecruited out of high school. He thought about giving up basketball, went to junior college, used that time to bulk up, and even after JUCO, the only Division I offer that he had other than Hawaii was Furman, and Hawaii originally thought he was going to walk on, but a scholarship opened up. I'll tell you how lightly regarded he was. His name was misspelled on his uniform, not just the first year, but the second year as well, as Korn hits down low.
That's cold.
That is.
That is cold-blooded. Your name's misspelled.
He said it was all right year one, but year two he was getting to wonder a little bit. What a beautiful pass, and Kubler finishes it off, but making it happen there, Jeff Blackett.
And a great call by Riley Walsh, head coach at Hawaii. He spreads everybody out, it's called the blind pig cut after a triangle set. With the high post to flash in there, clear out the weak side help, get a back door.
Now Korn, we told you he can hit the three, and he shows us.
Now you're seeing the team start to get a rhythm, and Southern Illinois leading now 16-12. We'll see if Hawaii can wither this storm, keep the crowd on their butts, not on their feet.
14th sellout crowd in 41 years here. Kubler around and out, and Korn grabs the rebound.
I'll tell you what, that didn't miss by much, Dave.
Hairston, Korn going to try another one. Not there. Rebound tipped around, and it goes out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Salukis. Southern Illinois starting to put some points on the board. The Salukis up by 4. We're coming back to Carbondale.
Scott Reese back in the studio. Arizona making the trip to Corvallis to take on Oregon State, and the Cats got run. David Lucas with a follow slam. He had 21, and we've got a court storming and a sea of orange. Oregon State with the victory. Doug Gottlieb, I'm sure, can appreciate the sea of orange. Now back to Carbondale.
Always appreciate the sea of orange, Dave. And, you know, when you're being pressured on the ball like Southern Illinois is pressuring Hawaii, you have to come up with backdoor angles. And here's one. It's called a blind pig cut. Watch Sinsley pop out, and here comes the backdoor. When you clear out the weak side help, it's a triangle set, just like the Los Angeles Lakers run, like Chicago Bulls ran when they won the World Championships. Hawaii likes to run some triangle, and when you bring up that weak side post, it's called a blind pig cut.
I like how when we come to the Midwest, you get the livestock involved.
Very nice.
That's impressive out of you.
Yes. I got the prices on beef, too, if you need those.
Yeah, if you could. Some futures, that's what we're looking at here. There's a three on the way, no good, and the rebound to Phil Martin. Hawaii trying to cut into this 4-point deficit. This is Sensley, who's been very quiet. Now Martin double team, still tries to get it up, and Phil Martin draws the foul. Sylvester Willis committing the foul, and hey, don't forget, more than 10,000 men and women tried out, and now only 12 finalists remain. One will land the dream job as the next Sports Center anchor. Dream Job, hosted by Stuart Scott, premieres tomorrow live, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. That is going to be fun as Phil Martin hits the first free throw.
I think it would be safe to say that this game is a little bit of a Ramalama Ham Dam. Wouldn't you say, Dave?
I am so high on the Ramalama Ham Dam early on. I mean, that's a guy.
He's the early leader.
I would love to share a cubicle with that guy. I'm not gonna lie. I think it'd be tremendous to have him aboard. But we don't want to bias.
No,
the
not
audience.
biased.
And, you know. Jumper right there is no good by Hairston, and the rebound goes to Blackett. Now Logan Lee. There is the steal, or near steal. Now Hairston does get it. Hairston in on Sensley, misses. Rebound, Willis misses the jam. And the Salukis throw it away as Turner fires it out of bounds.
But do you notice the pattern forming here? This is what the Salukis do. Offensively, it's fairly ugly. I mean, they're just looking to get after the basketball, take it to the hoop. They're not a particularly good three-point shooting team, but they come at you in waves, constantly trying to get to the basket, shoot those slashing shots, and then finish if they miss that shot.
7-7 on the turnover so far. Southern Illinois, a turnover ratio of better than +5 on the season. Inside Martin, and he lays it in.
You know, Phil Martin, part of their Canadian connection. Only problem was Carl English didn't come back to school this year. A major mistake on his part, and it's hurt the Hawaii program.
He's playing in the NBDL, but guy who had a year of eligibility left. And another turnover now for the Salukis.
This is Matt Painter's kind of worst nightmare. You get a sellout crowd here, and the crowd just wants to explode, Dave. They want to have something to cheer about. They want to have something to chant about. But Hawaii has methodically gotten it back to a tie ball game, and that's all Riley Wallace could want. Because remember, in the second half, he gets to coach his offensive ball club in front of him. There's the blind pig cut again.
That works again. Kubler, they're going to count the basket on the goaltend. And Kubler's going to go to the line as well.
Again, taking away the weak side help, Dave. There's the backdoor cut. When you come over to help, it's too late. And Sylvester Willis, he goes by Sly Willis. He's just a little too late on the block shot.
Call goes on Brad Korn, #1 for him, as Kubler completes the three-point play. He has 7. Phil Martin has 8 for the Rainbow Warriors.
They tell me Kubler is from Oregon, and Oregon State did not recruit him.
No one recruited him.
It's amazing.
He's a heck of a player. Now Brooks, we said, not a great three-point shooter, and he misses that one. Sensley the rebound. Now in transition, Blackett throws it down.
Sometimes it's a little better to be lucky than good. Logan Lee jumps up in the air, nothing to do. He finds Blackett. Blackett goes in for the lean dunk. He actually hit the front rim of the dunk. Watch, the ball comes to him. He hits the front rim. Just get it in there, big fella.
Now Jeff Blackett did get it in. Guy who served for a couple years on a Mormon church mission in Russia after high school. He's married. His wife, Lindsay, has 10 siblings, 2 of whom played D1 ball and actually met through her brothers. And Lindsay was a little frustrated with this game for a while there, and she was saying to him, you need to throw it down when you get inside, and that's what he did there, but it nearly had disastrous results.
You know, our wives always tell us what the wise thing to do is. Well, if all the wives of the Hawaii program would tell them they need to win tonight, because look at their strength of schedule. 54 is their RPI, got to get it below the 50s, and if you win tonight, Joe Lenardi, who obviously does bracketology for ESPN.com, he projects them at a 45 with a win tonight. Then they go on the road, play UTEP. A victory in El Paso would put them in first place in the WAC. So a double victory, double-edged sword, 2 wins in their next 2 games if Hawaii can survive tonight and Monday night.
Probably no team got a bigger boost out of the bracket buster last year than Southern Illinois. A dramatic last-second win against Wisconsin, Milwaukee. They got in as an at-large. Hawaii trying to do the same this year. Trying to get the boost out of bracket buster Saturday. It's been a great day of college basketball, and this, so far, shaping up to be a real good capper. Shot clock down to 5. Owen takes it to the hoop, has it rejected. Ball on the floor, and it's going to be out of bounds to SIU, but just 1 second to shoot it, Cut.
Yeah, just 1 second to shoot it. Watch for the Salukis to run something for a player slipping to the basket off of a screen. You don't ever want to have a catch-and-shoot situation because, you know, Hawaii broke down Southern Illinois' offensive sets, especially off the inbounds plays, and they've been able to create 2 5-second calls.
They try to get it in there, and it's stolen away. Here comes Kubler now on the break. Kubler ahead of the pack, and he has it blocked, but they call a foul against Lamar Owen. Not a very popular call.
No, not a very popular call. A tough place to make a call, right in front of the student section. But Kubler, he goes down there, almost like he's looking to draw a foul, and now they reward him for taking to the basket. I didn't think it was a foul in that play, Dave.
Well, either way, Kubler going to go to the line as Hawaii has come in here and now leads it by 6 at 22-16. You see the concern there from Matt Painter.
And Hawaii 4-2 on the road this year. That's not normally their strength, of course, because Hawaii has to travel so much at such a far distance to play road games.
It's a team that's going to travel more than 30,000 miles this year. Jake Sotos, a native of Monmouth, Illinois. It's about 350 miles from here. It's not exactly next door, but certainly a lot closer than playing his home games in Hawaii.
I'd rather visit him in Hawaii than come play. No offense to the folks.
What are you saying about Carbondale?
It's Hawaii. They don't call it paradise for nothing, Dave.
Now Logan Lee it's his 7-point lead for the Rainbow Warriors, coming off a real lethargic performance against Boise State. Riley Wallace was very concerned about his team. They've come out and looked super, though. They turn it over here. Brooks.
Well, such a much better shot selection for Darren Brooks. You know, he's gotten kind of goaded into taking a couple 3-point shots. That's not his strength. He only shoots in the 20s from 3. But when he gets inside that 15-foot range, he's deadly. That's why he'll be the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year.
We told you about the travels of Riley Wallace's team. We'll document them further. The Road Warriors will tell you the story when we come back. Hawaii on a 9-2 run, up by 5, 23-18. We told you about the travels of the Rainbow Warriors. Here's what it looks like for them. Talk about a tough week. 3 games in 9 days, cover more than 8,500 miles, including time zone changes. Hawaii going to lose about 45 hours during this trip to planes and buses. A brutal turnaround. Look at about 3 or 4 hours of sleep tonight. Then they'll fly to El Paso tomorrow for a critical showdown Monday night against UTEP.
Dave, where do they live?
Well, that's the other side of it.
Where do they live?
That's the positive side.
There you go.
It's tough. I'll tell you what. I mean, Riley Wallace said, hey, it's hard, but you know what? The best way to fight jet lag is to recruit better players than the other team has. So far, that's worked. As Phil Martin, though, misses inside, and Brooks corrals the rebound for SIU.
He also says the best part about Hawaii is coming home from a road trip, especially every time they descend.
Now a three-pointer is good by Tony Young.
And Matt Painter not afraid to mix it up. He goes to the redshirt freshman off the bench. He's already got a steal and a layup, and now he hits a big three.
Already exceeded his season average of 3. He's got 5 points, and the lead back down to 2. Now Sotos. Sensley into the lane. Gets it to go, and the foul.
That's exactly where Julian Sensley can be effective, slashing to the basket. Really, he's not a great fit for Hawaii's offense. They've had so many jump shooters recently with Carl English, Peja Savovic, and now obviously with Kubler, who can really shoot the basketball. But Sensley gets the ball going to the basket. He's much more effective, and in transition, he can also be effective. But they don't have point guards to throw the ball up the court there.
Josh Warren committed that foul, his first, as Sensley unable to complete the three-point play. Ball knocked around, and Tatum gets it for Southern Illinois. Now Brooks. This is Warren inside. Gets bodied by Sensley, and they call the foul on Julian Sensley.
Josh Warren, the one Saluki who really has a back-to-the-basket game. I really tease him about his weight. The one great thing about this team in Southern Illinois is they genuinely like each other. But Josh Warren is a guy that they call the Michelin Man, the Pillsbury Doughboy, but he uses that girth to be able to post up.
Well, Darren Brooks, we told you, he's not a great three-point shooter, only 28% on the year, but he drains a big one there, and that pulls SIU to within 1.
Big possession here for Hawaii. Got to score a bucket, get the folks to sit down here at Carbondale.
Kubler. Unable to hit the 3, but it is tipped up and in, and that is Blackett.
Southern Illinois standing around watching. We asked Matt Painter, what worries you most about Hawaii? He said offensive boards. They're just plain and simply bigger than us.
And that's even with Shimonovic not playing. Their starting center and the Wax leading shot blocker, a big presence inside. Now in transition, Blackett misses the jumper and the rebound to Warren. Here comes SIU, Stetson Hairston. Lamar Owen, the rebound hoop off the Brooks miss.
And if you don't think it's pretty at home, don't worry. This is what Southern Illinois is trying to do. Push the ball, get easy finishes from slashing jump shots. They're not a pure offensive team, but they are a great defensive team. Look at the intensity. Look at how they pressure the ball man to man.
Matt Painter said, I sold this team on defense. I told them that was how we were going to win. And obviously they've done so. As Martin misses that one, but Blackett is there again for the rebound. Jeff Blackett getting just his second career start. He had 2 points and 7 rebounds in his first career start against Boise State. 6 points already in this one.
Yeah, and he's being guarded by Lamar Owen, who clearly wants to leak out and score at the offensive end. He's got to remember to block out Blackett. That's a tongue twister.
I was going to say, it's tough to say, but you handled it admirably. Owen, the lob. Warren lays it in.
No high-low action as Owen says, all right, so I don't blocks out. At least I'll create an assist for the Pillsbury Doughboy or the Michelin Man.
See, now you got to pile on, don't you?
Yeah, well,
always a follower. Come on.
Guards always get on big fellas.
Exactly. Now Phil Martin gets the hoop and draws the foul. That goes against Josh Warren. That's his second. Dave Rivs and Doug Gottlieb with you. It is Bracket Buster Saturday, presented by the United States Marines. Hawaii against number 21 Southern Illinois, a team that has won 13 straight games. First 13-game winning streak since 1966-67, a team led by Clyde Frazier that won its last 19 and won the NIT, but that streak very much in jeopardy. The guests from Hawaii up by 3 and looking to make it 4.
And this is the essence of a bracket buster. You have a team in Southern Illinois that's already won the Missouri Valley Conference. Nobody really knows about them. We're the only ones who've seen them. Having called games for ESPN, we called their game against Creighton. Now the whole world's getting to see them as the premier midnight Eastern start on ESPN. And Hawaii coming in. They lost at Boise State. They're playing without their starting center, but trying to get a win tonight, move that RPI up into possible at-large territory.
Now Brooks, not there. Rebound, though. Willis draws the foul.
Well, Matt Painter never looks flustered as head coach. Probably rightfully so. He's got an older team, despite the fact sometimes he plays younger players. They've all redshirted for the most part, or come from a prep school. And Sylvester Willis is a perfect example of a guy who has bought into the system. He said, when Bruce Weber left, I was upset. I was ticked off. But you know what? All of a sudden, we had a great coach, a guy we all knew and loved, and we're just going to play our butts off for him.
That foul was on Jeff Blackett, his first. Willis, a guy who was 5'6", a high school freshman, grew more than a foot in high school to 6'7", played with Eddie Curry. Thornwood High School in Calumet City, Illinois, hits 1 of 2 free throws right there, so it's a 3-point lead for Hawaii. Now Lee nearly turned it over, could have been a walk, they didn't call. Now SIU forcing the turnover. Here comes Willis in transition. And there's the walk. It goes against the Salukis, Jamal Tatum. So Matt Painter can't buy a break. We're going to take a break. His team down by 4, clearly struggling and clearly frustrated here at home.
Scott Reese back in the studio. Coming up on the Bank One halftime report, all the day's scores and highlights from college hoops. Stanford and St. Joe continuing their quest for an undefeated regular season. Bracket busters Saturday, no lack of drama, including a buzzer beater. And Mississippi State cruising through the SEC until the Dogs got bitten. We'll show you how. Now let's send it back to Carbondale.
Okay, Scott, thanks a lot. Here it's 32-29 in favor of Hawaii, but Southern Illinois showing some signs offensively, Doug.
Yeah, Josh Warren working the low post, the junior. Watch him in at the block here as we roll it forward. Jamal Tatum with the ball up top, and Frazier right there. You see, all of a sudden, Josh Warren points to the corner, throw it to Darren Brooks. I got the guy seal high. Ball goes to the high post. Lamar Owen sees the high-low action, feeds it in. Nice offensive series from the Salukis, because really their offensive sets keep the floor spread. They're looking for some high-low action, or they're looking for penetration, especially with the dribble, because they have a lot of slashers, not a lot of shooters.
Warren contributing 4 of those 16 points off the bench. They have turned over 9 times, Southern Illinois has. They average fewer than 12 per game. Now they force the turnover there. Young ahead of the pack, and he cashes in.
Tony Young is absolutely a menace defensively. That's his second steal for a layup, and he is a key here because he's able to just lock up one offensive player as he gets another steal.
Now Young again, one-on-one with Lee. Misses this one. And Bobby Nash gets it for Hawaii.
That is such a weapon when you have a defensive player. Look at the point of pressure. Look where he's picking up Logan Lee. He's getting all over him in his jockstrap. It's an expression, actually.
Oh, no, it's, yeah, a figure of speech. Hugler, the pull-up, gets the roll.
Got real quiet when he hit that jump shot, didn't it? That's the key. Hawaii needs to continue to execute offensively, not turn the ball over, and keep this crowd out of the ball game.
Now Brooks right around Nash. Can't get it to go, but Sylvester Willis can.
Well, that's where Sly Willis is effective. Tipping the ball in, tip dunks, layups, just being active. Typical mid-major big guy, undersized. You know, he plays at Purdue, he plays at Illinois. Probably doesn't see the court except for 5-10 minutes a game, but he's athletic, he's active, and he's successful at this level.
Now Lee, Young has been all over him, as you mentioned, Doug.
You want to see all over. You should see Matt Painter just getting on his team to defend.
Hubler for 3, misses that one badly, but the rebound to Bobby Nash, and he lays it in.
And it's a pattern forming for Hawaii. Seeing a missed shot, reading it, getting the rebound, and tipping it in.
How much of what they're doing on the offensive boards is effort, and how much is just size?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think Southern Illinois is so worked up to guard their man, and then all of a sudden they've been in a defensive stance. They see the shot go up. They're thinking fast break. They need to be thinking rebound, get a steal, then get a fast break.
Kubler hearing it from the crowd. Takes it into the lane and turns it over. Here they come the other way. It's Brooks working with Korn, and he's got 2 more.
What can you say about this Southern Illinois team? They're not playing well offensively, but if you give them a chance, they will stick that dagger in you with a steal and an easy layup.
Riley Wallace calling a timeout as his team will talk things over.
Darren Brooks with the steal, leads his team in 4 offensive categories, and then he kicks it up to Tony Young. Now the rebound by Willis. Korn gets the ball wisely to Darren Brooks. Oh yeah, Darren Brooks leads the team in assists as well, and he feeds Brad Korn. Reward the big fella, Dave, for running the floor.
10 steals so far for Southern Illinois, just 4 for Hawaii. We told you they're a tenacious defensive team, the Salukis, and you're certainly seeing it here.
Southern Illinois is trying to swallow up Hawaii whole, and it all starts with their point of pressure. You know, a lot of good man-to-man teams begin it at the midcourt line. What Southern Illinois tonight is doing, because of their depth, especially at the guard position, they're picking up full court, trying to establish that point of pressure early.
Jason Carter back in the game, so Logan Lee, who was having his problems out there, takes his seat. Now Blackett going to try the pull-up, and he's got it.
Beautiful execution of the flex offense right there. It's an offense you've seen Dr. Tom Davis runs at Drake now. We saw it with Bruce Pearl, runs it at UW Milwaukee. They lost today at home, but when you execute the flex, you set screens. It's very effective for jump shots, especially for your big fellas.
That was a big win for Manhattan, kind of maybe the signature win so far, Bracket Buster Saturday. But if Hawaii were able to pull this one out, this would certainly trump them. Carter, the pull-up, not there. Korn coming out of there with the rebound for the Salukis as we wind down to 30 seconds to go in the first half. And Southern Illinois trailing it by 3.
Riley Wallace not happy with that last shot because Hawaii could have held for the last shot, kept the crowd out of the game. Now listen to this place. They so badly want to get into this game, Dave.
They really have neutralized this crowd, Hawaii has. The place is really energized. Again, 11 o'clock local time tip. They've had all night to get ready for this one. Haven't had a ton to cheer about those so far. And now Brooks has it stripped, and the Rainbow Warriors are going to go into the locker room nearly with a 6-point lead. Instead, though, with a 3-point lead, they have to be feeling very good about themselves, Doug.
Yeah, and this Hawaii team was ready to play from the get-go. Southern Illinois was not offensively.
It's a 3-point lead for the Rainbow Warriors. We're coming back to Carbondale for the second half in a bit. Let's go to Scott Reese.
All right, Rever, thank you much. And yeah, a lot of things to talk about on this Bracket Buster Saturday. It's the Bank One Halftime Report. I'm Scott Reese, but first let's get you caught up on some news and notes from around the world of sports. Rasheed Wallace cleared to play Sunday against the Magic. The NBA contemplating a fine for the Pistons for for playing Wallace last night. The Dolphins close to a deal with the Eagles that would net them A.J. Feely, and the Raiders have designated Charles Woodson as their franchise player. All the day's scores and highlights coming up next on the Halftime Report. Matt Loddick, a perfect 4 of 4 from downtown as the Cardinal looking to remain unbeaten.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball. Brought to you by Singular, the wireless company that fits you best. And Mazda. There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make. Welcome to the Bank One Halftime Report.
Stanford trying to stay perfect at Pauley Pavilion, taking on the Bruins. Josh Childress coming off a career-best game against USC, picking up where he left off with a triple. And Matt Loddick heating up late in the season. 4 of 4 from deep, 14 points. Cardinal by 19 at the break. And it's Matt Harrius to Childress, 3 more of his 14. Stanford lights out, 8 of 10 from beyond the arc. Chris Hernandez had 7, and the Cardinal cruise 73-60. They are Pac-10 champions and 23-0. The other unbeaten St. Joe's, no problem with Temple. And yes, the Hawk is still flapping. First half, Jameer Nelson from straight away. He had a game-high 18. Pat Carroll, lefty, from the wing. 4-7 from deep, 14 points. Got to get Delonte West in the highlight. West with 20. St. Joe's up 22. And then West showing he's a giver as well. Dwayne Jones the finish. Hawks win easily 76-53. All right, so those are your two unbeatens. At day's beginning, there was one one-loss team. That was Mississippi State, hoping for a 1 seed in the NC2A tournament. But the Dogs had some issues with Alabama. Second half, Winsome Frazier. Just 3 of 13 shooting, though, for 12 points. Bulldogs down by 6. Then they steal. Timmy Bowers. Stop and pop. 3-ball, good. He had 14. It's a 2-point game. But the Tide, relentless. Chuck Davis to Kennedy Winston, who had a career day, 31 points. The hoop and the harm there. Bama up by 4. Then they beat the press. Emmett Thomas underneath. He had 16. Bama takes it 77-73, just the second road win of the year for the Tide. Conference USA, it's Louisville and Cincinnati. A little pregame hello from Coach Pitino, Coach Huggins. Second half, Jason Maxiel. We call this an elbow J. Maxiel with a dozen, Cincy by 1. Final 20 seconds, Nate Daniels. Gotta have a bucket. How's this for a bucket? Louisville up by a deuce. Final seconds of regulation. Swing it to Field Williams. Foot on the line. It's a 2. We've got bonus basketball. Williams with 18. In OT, Tony Bobbitt in stride, knocking it down. 3 of 10 from the floor, 11 points. Bearcats by 4. And then Eric Hicks, the dagger. He had 10. Bearcats win it. 66-61. Louisville going south. Lost 5 out of 6. Big 12 now. Nebraska, Oklahoma State. A surprisingly tight game. In fact, it's tied in the second half. Joey Graham, 2 of his career best, 36. Final 30 seconds. John Lucas for 3. Yeah, he had 16. Oklahoma State by 5. Final 10 seconds. Huskers down 3. Nate Johnson. Reverse me. And the damage. He had 18. The free throw ties it up. We go overtime in Stillwater. How about that? Ivan McFarland backing his man down. And the Cowboys hang on in OT, 87-83. More Big 12 in Norman. Texas, Oklahoma. Final 2 minutes of a 4-point game. Royale Ivy rejects. But he gets right to D'Angelo Alexander. And he finishes. 12 for Alexander. Sooners within 1 after the tro. Final minute. Jason Dietrich. Ball fake. Hangs, hits. He had 14. We're tied at 63. Final 30 seconds. Ivy. P.J. Tucker, the freshman. Big-time hoop. He had 6 points, 11 rips. The Horns now 10-2 in the conference with a 68-63 victory. More hoops on the way. Big East basketball front and center. Julius Page, the shooter's role, leading the Pitt Panthers.
This halftime report is presented by Bank One, where you get individual answers. Welcome back to the Bank One halftime report.
Ward coming up court. 2 seconds to go. McNamara. It's good! Jerry Mack drops one on G-Town.
McNamara hit his last 3 triples as the Cuse hangs on 57-54 in a thriller. More Big East. Pitt, West Virginia in Morgantown early on. Tyrone Sally going baseline. He had a team-high 17, ties it at 18. This one day after the 100th anniversary of the Mountaineers' first ever basketball game. Julius Page knocking down the 3. Panthers closed the half on a 12-2 run, and then the sweet reverse from Page. He had 15. Pitt starting to pull away. Carl Krauser, 13 points, 9 rips, 7 dimes. And the Panthers win at 67-58. Elsewhere in the Big East, UConn by 11 over Notre Dame. Emeka Okafor, those 22 rebounds, a career high. Rob Sanders with 14 as Providence beats Miami 70-57. The Friars 9-3 in Big East play. Kentucky gets a road win over Auburn, 68-59. Gerald Fitch with 18 points. And South Carolina gets punked in Fayetteville, 82-66. The final, they get out-rebounded 35-26. Arkansas evens its mark at 12-12 for the season. Back to the pack. 10, Arizona getting all it can handle in Corvallis from the Beavers. Angelo Sakarakis from somewhere near Bend. He had 13. Beavers shoot 55% from the floor. That's high percentage. Jim Hanchett to David Lucas. And then Lucas returns the favor. He'll feed Hanchett, who had 6 points. It's 83-72. Upset City, baby. Late, J.S. Nash put it on the floor. Not so much, but there's Lucas with a board. He had 21. Beavers' first win over a ranked opponent since March of 2000. Bracket buster game between Toledo and Nevada. Final 7 seconds. There's the clock. There's the ball. Todd Okerson. No, sir, but there's the tip-in from Gary Hill. And the Wolfpack win it in dramatic fashion, 60-58. Elsewhere on Bracket Buster Saturday, Manhattan gets 27 from Luis Flores in a victory over Wisconsin-Milwaukee. East Tennessee State, 66-62 over Fresno State. The Buccaneers have won 15 straight. College of Charleston losing at Western Michigan. Elsewhere, Gonzaga, despite a season-low 4 points from Blake Stepp, 76-56 over Tulsa. Wichita State is a winner, as is Miami of Ohio. The MAC 3-0 on Bracket Buster Saturday. And finally, Franklin Middle School down 2 against Morton in the state title game, Champaign, Illinois. Verdell Jones from 80 feet. I'd say that's a three-pointer. Sign that kid up, get him a scholarship. Franklin wins 55-54. Brad Korn getting it done for the Salukis, but having some issues against visiting Hawaii. 3-point game. Back to Carbondale after this.
This halftime report is presented by Bank One, where you get individual answers. ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball, brought to you by Lincoln. There are those who travel and those who travel well. And PlayStation 2. Live in your world, play in ours.
We are back in Carbondale, Illinois. Hawaii leading Southern Illinois 38-35. Here on Bracket Buster Saturday, presented by the United States Marines. Dave Revson alongside Keebler Elf, Doug Gottlieb, and
you like the sleeping cap? They're giving these away here tonight.
It is. It's a good look for you. It really is. It's been obviously not a great offensive performance for Southern Illinois, but defensively, Doug, they're doing what they typically do.
Yeah, well, they're getting up in the passing lanes. They're creating offense off of their defense. The problem is they haven't had enough offense when they get it set into the half-court sets. But the Salukis defensively, they like to run through passes, get steals, get on the break. And this is where they're effective in the open court. But you got to credit Hawaii, because with a couple of these exceptions, Hawaii has turned the ball over 12 times, and they paid dearly for it. But with those exceptions, they've kind of goaded Southern Illinois into taking three-point shots, 9 of them, in fact, and that's not really their game, Dave, despite the fact they've hit 4 of 9 threes. If you ask Matt Painter, he'd say, look, we're taking too many jump shots. We need more steals, more layups, more driving to the basket.
Yeah, this is a team that averages fewer than 6 three-pointers per game. There you see the stats for Michael Kubler. He has 11 points, 0 of 3 on three-pointers. He has hit a 3 in 19 straight games. That is tied for the school record. So he needs 1 3 to break that school record. But 20 or more points 12 times this season. He is on his way to making it 13.
And a guy we haven't spoken a lot about is Phil Martin. He has 11 points, 1 assist, no turnovers, and a steal for Hawaii. He's been very ineffective, undersized big guy playing tonight without Hawaii's starting center even being on the trip so far for Hawaii.
Southern Illinois, 37 of its last 38. They have won at home 13 straight overall. But they are trailing as we start the second half. Brian Turner with a very quiet first half misses. It goes out of bounds off Korn, and Hawaii will have it.
Another possession, and that was at least a mid-range jump shot, but another possession with a jump shot for Southern Illinois. Let's see if they can create offense off of their defense. For Hawaii, they want to get into their sets. They want to be patient, get open jump shots, or get the ball into the post.
Logan Lee, who struggled some with turnovers in the first half, being hounded right there, gets it to Sensley. Now inside, this is Martin, who you talked about, and he continues to play very well. 13 now for Martin.
Canadian national team member, and he got a chance to play with Carl English. They were a package deal when they showed up in Hawaii. The only problem was Carl English left here for the pros. Phil Martin stuck here. He's got 13 tonight.
Brooks on the penetration, unable to get it to go. And now Lee going to slow it up without the numbers.
A different philosophy for Hawaii. They want to get into their sets, use their offense to get them shots, whereas Southern Illinois wants to use that defense, wants to use the transition game to get their offensive shots.
This is Lee penetrating with the left hand and gets it to go.
Beautiful
so first
ball
two
fake.
for Logan Lee.
Yeah, beautiful ball fake after he curled off, used a little ball fake, left-handed leaner. Hawaii using their sets again to create their offense.
My partner is still wearing the elf hat, by the way. I have a hard time looking at you and taking you seriously. This is Sylvester Willis. He misses, but he gets fouled underneath.
Listen, in some parts of this country, matter of fact, the East Coast, it's past midnight. Now in Hawaii, this game was a 7 p.m. starts, prime time. We're used to watching games at the Stan Sheriff Center out there right about this time of night.
Second foul on Jeff Blackett, and Sylvester Willis hits the free throw. 4 points now for him.
I haven't heard you say Hawaii yet tonight. You have to use the inflection of your voice. Pronounce that little apostrophe, a little inflection.
You want me to try it?
Just one time.
Hawaii.
There you go.
Right. Willis hits 1 of 2, and the rebound to Blackett. Now Sensley able to bring it across himself, and he gets it into the hands of Lee. Crowd wanted to travel. They don't get the call.
10,000 officials, but the 3 on the floor did not call the foul. Did not call the foul.
Martin. He draws the foul. Sylvester Willis going to get called for that one.
10,000 more unhappy officials.
Number 2 on Sylvester Willis. So Phil Martin, who really is having a good game. 13 points now for him. His career high is 23, but that already exceeds his season average, which is a hair under 11. One of just 3 players in Hawaii history with 1,000 points and 500 rebounds. Misses the free throw right there. We talked about him as a recruit. He's a guy who was offered by Syracuse and Penn State. They backed off when it looked like he wouldn't meet NCAA minimum requirements. He did, though, and Hawaii jumped on him, and they were able to get him, and he's been a great get, obviously, for Riley Wallace.
Kind of the story of Hawaii's program, being able to take guys that academically right at the borderline and yet get them into school, keep them into school, keep them academically eligible, and they become highly successful basketball players.
The lead has mushroomed now, 43-36. Hawaii, this is tied for their biggest lead, but only temporarily as Sylvester Willis gets 2.
What a great move by Sly Willis. He puts the ball on the floor, uses his body, spins. Again, the undersized big man at the mid-major level. 6'7", athletic. This is what they look like, especially at the highest level of mid-major basketball.
Southern Illinois, number 2 in our ESPN.com mid-major poll, behind only Gonzaga. The 21st ranked team in the nation. They have never been ranked higher than 17th, and that was nearly 30 years ago. Beautiful backdoor pass, and converting is Blackett.
And just cutting up the man-to-man defense by Southern Illinois, using the pressure to actually hurt the Salukis. That's what Hawaii's been able to do by spreading the floor offensively.
Now Brooks with the 3, not there, and Kubler comes out of there with a rebound. Is that a force from Brooks?
Yeah, it's too quick, too early in their offense, especially at that distance.
As Sensley loses it, here comes Stetson Hairston. Now Brooks, this is where he likes to operate.
Yep. There you go, bingo. That's what you're looking for if you're Matt Painter, if you're Darren Brooks. Inside, get quick, easy, 5, 10-foot shots early in the offense. If not, work it, work it, work it. Try and get a shot late in the shot clock and get a tip in an offensive rebound.
9 points now for Brooks. Kubler into the lane. And they call the blocking foul.
It's the body balance from Darren Brooks as he's on the fast break. He uses his body so well trying to protect the basketball. And this is a solid shot. See how he steps past Logan Lee. That's the key to the spin move, getting the full step, not allowing the defender to recover when you go into your spin.
And that foul was against Sylvester Willis. That is number 3 on him. He takes his seat on the bench. Lamar Owen comes in. Josh Warren checking in as well for SIU. Now Kubler gets caught down and under, gets it to Martin. He is triple teamed. And Hawaii somehow escapes from there unscathed. Sensley. Not there, and the rebound to Hairston. Now Jamal Tatum. Quick pull-up right there is no good. Sensley the rebound.
That was a bad shot from the true freshman. Just way too quick when they're struggling to score offensively.
This is Logan Lee, the open 3. Not there, and getting the rebound is Ward.
Still a better shot because it came from inside out.
Now Brooks. In transition, another hoop for Darren Brooks.
a difference in the two shots between Jamal Tatum's shot and Darren Brooks. Obviously, you'll take a layup, but throwing the ball ahead to your leading scorer, that's where he's effective.
Brooks into double figures. The lead is down to 3. Logan Lee being hounded by Tatum. Lee has had his problems. Crowd really starting to come to life. Sensley. It's going to stay with the Rainbow Warriors. Taking a timeout here in Carbondale, Illinois, Southern Illinois. Down just 3 to the Rainbow Warriors. Back in Carbondale, Illinois, Hawaii trying to pull off what would be the biggest upset of Bracket Busters Saturday on top 45-42. How are they doing it, Doug?
Hawaii trying to run a little flex here. Not a great screen, or not even any screen by Julian Sensley, but Brad Korn gets hung up on the little bump. There's a flex cut. Anytime you go from the corner on the weak side to the ball side block, that is a flex cut, and usually there's a screen there. Sensley just kind of turns his body, and they've been flexing their way to a lead in Carbondale.
And there's the hustle. He has done a great job, Young, creating turnovers for Southern Illinois. Another one right there. And Tatum into the front court.
Now look for Darren Brooks curling off the screen, trying to get the ball going to the basket. That's where he's so much more effective. Let's take a look at inside for Warren. A little high-low action.
This is Brooks. Young. There's 4 steals so far in this game. Gets it inside now to Warren, who gets fouled. That gets it to go.
Well, Josh Warren, as he's known, the Michelin Man, as he's known on campus here at Southern Illinois, and he's been posting up. He's got his hand up. Give it to him. Give it to him. Tony Young finally goes to the basket. And Julian Sensley is not a post defender. And credit Matt Painter, who said, you know what? We haven't been able to score anything from the perimeter. We're going to go inside to Warren, allow the big fella to do some work.
Foul goes against Sensley. Warren now has 7 points. It's a 45-45 game. Southern Illinois has battled back from 7 down here in the second half to tie things up. Kubler, beautiful feed to Martin. Blocked from behind by Brooks, but they call him for the foul.
Wow, what an offensive set by Hawaii. A different look at the blind pig cut as they run a circle or a little dribble reversal, trying to get movement. Watch Kubler, he's waiting. There's the blind pig. That's the weak side post comes high, and then one extra pass. Outstanding offensive set off the timeout by Riley Wallace.
15 points now for Phil Martin.
Well, there are some good players in this country that you haven't seen. Phil Martin's one of them. Julian Sensley doing an excellent job today, not scoring a bunch of points. Of course, Kubler's our leading scorer. He has performed as expected. And then Darren Brooks, leading scorer, leading offensive rebounder in Missouri Valley. He's only 6'3".
Nice pass inside there to Warren, and the foul's going to go against Pachuskis. That is going to be his 30. Just checked back into the ball game, and already he picks up another one.
Boy, Big Gene Cady up at Purdue would be proud of his former player, Matt Painter. As Gene Cady basketball, get the ball inside the post, clear out room, let Josh Warren work. Josh Warren kind of has the look of a Big Ten lineman, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's got some size, 6'8", 250.
Just using his arms, using his strength, looking for the basketball. 4 out, 1 in, keeping the floor spread.
Now Brooks letting the 3 go. It won't go, and coming out of there with the rebound is Martin.
See, sometimes early success is not what a coach wants. He had early success for the 3. Now he keeps shooting them, and that's not where Southern Illinois is effective.
Pachuski stays in there with those 3 fouls. Young coming down with the rebound for SIU. Salukis into the front court, trying to tie. Owen can't get it to go off glass, but guess who's there?
Darren Brooks literally does everything that this team needs. I mean, literally. Leads the team in scoring, rebounding, assists, and steals, and he's second in blocks. He's 6'3". He's there at the right time. It's just a feel that he has, Dave.
13 points now for him. Leads the Missouri Valley Conference in offensive rebounds at 6'3".
How about Phil Martin? Oh, Canada can he play.
18 now for him. Every time that Southern Illinois makes a run, Hawaii is there to answer.
Again, 4 out, 1 in, looking to get the ball inside to Warren, posting up.
Unable to do it, but they do draw the foul. It goes against Jeff Blackett. That's going to be number 3 on him. Hey, don't forget, tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern time, rookie sensation LeBron James making his ABC Sports debut as the Cleveland Cavaliers travel to New York to take on Stephon Marbury and the Knicks. Then at 7 Eastern, ESPN bringing you an NBA special. Amari Stoudemire and the Suns welcoming Shaq, Kobe, and the Lakers into America West Arena. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Lakers a little bit banged up, but the thought maybe that when Karl Malone comes back, that team will make a run.
Big fella Shaq was pretty good last night against Philadelphia. They got a big win at home. Allen Iverson, oh, he was knocking.
Hairston hitting right there. First 2 for Stetson Hairston. 49-49. Southern Illinois, the team that probably benefited the most from Bracket Busters Saturday last year. They got the tip in by Stetson Hairston to beat Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Trying not to end up on the other side of it this year, as Hawaii really needs this win to keep its at-large hopes alive. Martin. Now Logan Lee. Sensley. And Young gets called for the foul. That's number 2 on him. He has been playing such great defense. Doug, I think that's got to be one they're willing to give away.
Oh, absolutely one you're willing to give away, because you like the intensity. You see Matt Painter slapping 5s with his team as they come off. He's not pulling guys because he's unhappy with their effort. The effort has been there. It's just the execution, especially at the offensive end. But defensively, watch how they get up into Hawaii's shorts. If you're a young kid growing up at home, you want to know what man-to-man defense is about, especially when you're an athletic player like Southern Illinois has. This is what it's about, getting in your man mano-a-mano and trying to shut them down.
Wallace backing in, the turnaround not there. And the rebound comes out to Turner, and he turns it over. Now Carter, they thought he stepped on the baseline. He throws it away. This one tied up at 49 as Riley Wallace and company in a dogfight here at the Dog Pound.
Scott Reese back in the studio. Stanford trying to become the first Pac-10 team to run through the regular season unbeaten. Chris Hernandez, 7 points on the day. The Cardinals shoot 80% from beyond the arc. They cruise past UCLA 73-60. They are Pac-10 champs. St. Joe also remains perfect, now 24-0. Mississippi State suffers its 2nd loss of the season and a buzzer beater for the defending champs. Now back to Carbondale. Dave Revson, Doug Gottlieb.
Okay, Scott, so an exciting day of action, including Bracket Busters Saturday, which has seen the Mid-American Conference make a very good statement for itself. Kent State winning, Western Michigan winning as well. Here it's Southern Illinois in a real dogfight with Hawaii. Southern Illinois ranked 21st in the nation, 25th in our projected ESPN.com Insider RPI. They turn it over, though, and that's been kind of their bugaboo. Kubler now ahead of the pack, leaves it for Carter, who has it knocked away.
Oh, Hawaii just trying to be too cute on the fast break. But Southern Illinois, this is an important game for them. I think they're already in the NCAA tournament. As you take a look at their resume, 15-0 in the Missouri Valley Conference, which is a very well-respected mid-major conference. 21-2 on the season. Yes, they lost at home to Charlotte. Their only loss in the last 38 games at home.
Man, has Young been great. Another steal for him and a layup on the other end.
Just active, long arms, quick hands, a redshirt freshman. He's been a key. And look where he picks up the basketball.
5 steals now for Young. Hawaii, as you can see, already exceeding its average for turnovers. Martin. Now the 3 out of the corner, no good. And the rebound goes to Young. Now another turnover. Here comes Pachuskis. He turns it over. It's not a work of art. Owen spinning, missing. And there's a foul on the Salukis.
Is this wild or what?
That one's going to go against Josh Warren. That's number 3 on him.
Watch this sequence. Pachuskis loses the basketball. Lamar Owen, very good in transition. It's kind of whirling dervish type move. And Salukis just trying to crash, get anything to go into the basket. And I think that's a pretty good call. Julian Sensley was in position.
knocked out of bounds there by Hairston. We were talking about Southern Illinois, and as you said, I think most people feel like this team is already into the tournament. And the Missouri Valley Conference has just been great in the NCAA tournament. Won at least one game in 4 of the last 6 years. 8 NCAA tourney wins in the last 6 seasons. As Kubler hits on the alley-oop right there, 13 now for him. And this is also a team that's had 2 Sweet 16 teams in that 6-year span, including Southern Illinois a couple years ago, and 4 Sweet 16 teams in the last 10 years. So if SIU stumbles, certainly you got to think that based on the past history and based on what they've done this year, this team deserves to be in.
Yeah, I think they're in. 21-2, even if they lose tonight, 21-3 to win.
Beautiful pass there to Lamar Owen. Josh Warren making that one happen.
But it would not be easy for Hawaii to continue to win this basketball game. Matter of fact, now they trail by 2, and every possession, every time they have the ball, it's a struggle, and they have to run some kind of backdoor play because Southern Illinois is just up in their grill play, man-to-man, mano-a-mano physical defense.
Kubler, a fadeaway, misses it badly. And Hairston coming the other way.
You get the sense this place is just waiting for a reason to explode, waiting for a quality possession and maybe a layup or a slam dunk by Southern Illinois, and this place will explode and go nuts here at the Dog Dome.
A near turnover, but Turner gets it down low and hits. First 2 for Brian Turner.
Riley Wall's seen enough. He needs a timeout. Got to regroup his troops, try and calm this crowd down.
Well, they're anything but calm right now, as you can see. They have been waiting for this game all day. Again, an 11 o'clock local time tip-off, and they have certainly enjoyed it in the second half here as SIU has come from 7 down to take a 4-point lead. Josh Warren and company in the lead. Well, in college, 12:30 qualified is early. They're just getting started on the night here in Carbondale, Illinois, and Southern Illinois just getting started too as they have exploded here in the second half, a 55-51 lead. Bracket Buster Saturday presented by the United States Marines. As we were talking about, the Mid-American Conference making a huge statement. Western Michigan and Kent State both winning. Manhattan, probably the most impressive win of the day so far, goes to Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and gets the victory. Gonzaga is expected, no problem with Tulsa, Doug.
Yeah, Luis Flores, 27 points, but Kent State and Western Michigan, their projected RPI from ESPN.com, Joe Lenardi supplied it to us. Kent State at 45, Western Michigan at 47. Western Michigan has some impressive out-of-conference wins. Both these teams trying to sneak in. Only one can get in from the MAC conference automatically.
Great hustle by Willis to knock it away. And Southern Illinois is going to get it.
Just another steal, and Hawaii has been able to backdoor and backcut this Southern Illinois defense, but Sly Willis was there that time. He had heard from Matt Painter, look, you're the weak side big guy. You have to be in help. It was very effective. That's how they got the ball back.
16 steals now for the Salukis. Trying to build on the 4-point advantage. Korn, a great 3-point shooter. Cannot get it to go. Kubler has it ripped away. Stetson Hairston's got it. And you talk about those Mid-American Conference teams, and yes, the Missouri Valley has done great in the tournament, but the Mid-American Conference, 7 wins in the last 9 years, all of them as the worst-seeded teams. That's another league where you can make an argument with all the mediocrity in the mid-majors. Maybe they deserve 2, and Brooks gets the layup there.
Now, Derek Brooks is not mediocre. That's where he's effective, Dave, catching the ball, going to the basket, and with the way Southern Illinois defends, and the difficulty in getting started in your offense, especially in the NCAA tournament, they're going to be a tough out for somebody come March.
I meant to say it was the mediocrity in the high majors. It's been kind of the theme of this year.
No question about it. Big 10, Pac-10, way down. Big 12, average. ACC's been outstanding, but some of those teams have struggled of late.
Now Korn with the steal. Here comes the big guy on the open floor, and Korn lays it in. An 8-point lead now for the Salukis. A 15-point turnaround here in the second half.
It's so loud in here, Dave, that the officials had to walk over to Logan Lee and say, it's a timeout. Look at the defensive intensity from Southern Illinois. They've been able to get massive amounts of steals. 21 turnovers now for Hawaii, 17 steals for Southern Illinois. They've been able to create havoc. They haven't been good at the half-court offensive end, but when you can create bad shots like this one from Kubler, when you can create possessions where there is no effective offensive play by Hawaii, this is how you win 15 consecutive games in conference, 13 consecutive games overall. Southern Illinois simply getting the job done at the defensive end, and it's allowed them to create things for their offense. Their half-court offense hasn't been very good, but their defense has been outstanding.
And this is a Hawaii team that generally takes care of the ball very well, Doug. Just 13 turnovers per game coming in, so they've already exceeded that total. It's Southern Illinois approaching its school record for steals.
No disrespect to the WAC conference, but you don't see crowds like this when teams with this kind of athleticism and intensity every day in the WAC conference. This is a special night here in Carbondale.
Now Martin, who's a big part of the first half, but been relatively quiet here in the second. Ball on the floor, Sensley trying to get it. Now Korn. They save it to Hawaii, and Blackett gets the easy two.
Just what the doctor ordered. Another messy play. It's just been wild and crazy. I mean, no real offensive sets. The ball on the floor, but this is the way Southern Illinois wants it. Hawaii's just been able to survive, hang around. They trail by 6.
Sluggish.
Oh, sluggish. It's been active. It just hasn't been pretty.
I just wanted to say the word sluggish.
Okay, fair enough.
Korn misses that one for the rebound of Brooks. A fresh 35 now. Stetson Hairston.
With no real post scorer in the game. Look for Southern Illinois trying to get the ball curling off the screen, going to the basket. Short, medium range jump shots or drive basketball shots.
Now Brooks. This is Willis. Shot clock down to 10. Brooks. Such a great creator, but this time they nearly turn it over. And in fact, they do say it was on the baseline, so it's going to go back to the Rainbow Warriors. We need a break. Southern Illinois up by 6, but the Rainbow Warriors hanging around at Carbondale.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball, presented by the United States Marine Corps. The change is forever. And in part by Nicoderm CQ. You're not a superhero. You don't have to be. You've got Nicoderm CQ.
Back in Carbondale, Illinois, lots to cheer about in the second half, where SIU has taken the 6-point lead. It's Bracket Buster Saturday, presented by the United States Marines. A great way to finish this one off. Hawaii against number 21, Southern Illinois. Dave Revson, Doug Gottlieb with you. And Doug, this is a game Hawaii led by 3 at the half. What's happened here in the second half?
Well, they've turned the ball over, Dave. They haven't been able to get into any of their offense. Look, they're shooting 48.8% from the field. So that means they're taking pretty good shots. The problem is they got 20 turnovers, and that's not all they're doing. Most of it comes from the defensive pressure that the Salukis have applied.
Kubler really has not been able to be on his game. Again, 19 straight games with a 3. Has not hit one in this one. Martin missing there. Korn comes out of there with it. It is tied up. And it's going to go to Hawaii.
This Hawaii team has shown a lot of heart here today. They're playing without their star center, Chaim Shimonovich. And they're also playing without Carl English, a guy who left them early for the pros with an undrafted, did sign with the Pacers, now playing in the NBDL. And to be able to come on the road and compete like this, despite the length of the road trip, that's huge.
Kubler again misses the 3. And the rebound to Tatum. 0 for 8 on the 3 so far for Hawaii tonight. Team that hits about 6 per game.
It's a bad sign when the crowd comes to their feet. They're expecting something special.
A 3 on the way by Turner, no good. And the rebound to Blackett.
Probably not what they were expecting. Hawaii still very much alive. Need to get in their sets, maybe get a backdoor cut, something off of their offensive series.
And that's exactly what they do get. Julian Sensley picks up the hoop right there. Just 4 so far, though, in the game for him. Well below his season average. Guy averages around 12 per game.
And you're still very much alive. You have Southern Illinois in a half-court game. That's where they're least effective.
Brooks has it blocked beautifully. It's going to stay with SIU, but nice block there by Phil Martin.
Yeah, Phil Martin, 18 points today, and doing it at the defensive end. This is where Darren Brooks is so effective, but the problem is only listed at 6'3", probably more 6'1 3/4", 6'2", and you put a bigger Martin on it, he's able to get that big paw up and block the shot.
Now Korn draws the foul, can't get the hoop. Foul goes against Phil Martin. That is number 1 on him. Hey, don't forget Monday night, a big doubleheader First at 7 Eastern time, Villanova beating Syracuse, the team that just barely escaped today by the very narrowest of margins. And then at 9, it's Kansas against Texas. It's all part of Judgment Week presented by Cisco Systems.
Kansas and Texas also surviving by the narrowest of margins. This time of year, a win is a win. They used to say it's a road win is a road win. But now in college basketball, anytime in late February you get a victory, you just thank the basketball gods. Thank you for one more point than my opponent.
Turner taking a seat for Southern Illinois. That was a huge one today for Syracuse, for Jerry McNamara, because I'll tell you what, you lose that game, and there's a really good shot that that loss gets counted against you when they're putting that bracket together.
Let's not forget Georgetown. Whoa! Wow.
Jeff Blackett throwing that one down. He's got 14.
I was going to say Georgetown just lost to St. John's, but Blackett all of a sudden brings Hawaii back to within 3. Crowd sitting down. Southern Illinois in their half-court offensive sets, which they've not been effective in. Hawaii continue to show great heart on the road.
Now Brooks nearly has it knocked away. Martin, and in fact, they do turn it over. Great defense there from Phil Martin.
That's just cutting off the post. Pass the ball to the post. Everybody, your defenders are standing around watching, trying to double team Julian Sensley. He sees his teammate. Blackett goes in and gets the finish. You tell me his wife told him he needed to dunk more? That's the second one of the game. Wifey will be happy when he gets back to Honolulu.
Shinanovich is a great player, but we could have a Wally Pipp situation here. I mean, Blackett scored 10 in his first start, 14 in his second start.
Turnover by Sensley. One great pass and then one turnover. A great pass to Blackett. That's a bad turnover.
Hairston missing it badly. Salukis coming out of there with the board now. And Matt Painter wants a timeout. Matt Painter, a guy who is 10 years removed from driving a forklift while an unpaid assistant at Washington and Jefferson College. And here he is, the head coach at Southern Illinois, and doing a tremendous job. Again, the second best record for any first-year head coach in the country this year. You see his team 15-0 in the conference. They've already clinched their 3rd straight Missouri Valley Conference regular season title. They were picked for 5th place, Doug.
Yeah, Wichita State picked to win that league. Creighton's so successful. They've already won at Creighton. Creighton comes in here. That's their next home game at the Dog Dough. But UTEP plays Hawaii Monday night. Another big game. And listen, Hawaii has to play tonight. Get on a bus at 7 a.m., drive to St. Louis, 2-hour trip, a trip you and I are going to make tonight, then fly to Dallas. From Dallas, they go to El Paso, and the trip is still not done. They got to go play UTEP, and then they go back to paradise.
This is a team that's going to spend...
I can't really feel bad for them.
No,
they
you
still,
can't. Yeah,
still get to live in Hawaii.
End up in Hawaii
Yes.
in the end. There you see it, 30,000-plus air miles this year. If they do them all on one airline, I mean, they get a free ticket out of it, so I mean, that's something. Corn missing that one. But Southern Illinois gets a fresh 35.
You are all about the miles.
It's all about the frequent flyer miles, isn't it? I'll have to ask him about that. It'll be a fascinating question. 3-point lead right now for the homestanding Salukis. Again, 13 in a row they have won. 37 of their last 38 in this building.
Amazing thing is the conditioning Hawaii has shown. They don't look like they have their hands on the shorts and they're tired, despite the fact that they've traveled all these miles.
Brooks tries to get it inside to Warren. They nearly lose it. Now Young cannot get it to go. Korn the rebound, but he pushed off inside.
Good call. I'll tell you what, these officials have done a solid job. It's not an easy environment to officiate, especially with the Southern Illinois students sitting right behind that basket, but that's a good call. Solid box out by Martin. Another nice play, and he gets pushed from behind. That's a foul.
Well, coming up, a reminder of just how big Bracket Buster Saturday can be. We'll take a look at that. It's SIU on top by just 3. 3-point lead for Southern Illinois. Dave Revson, Doug Gottlieb back with you in Carbondale. Doug, keys down the stretch here.
Well, Hawaii needs to get in their offense sets, not turn the ball over, play with patience. You know, Tony Young is guarding Logan Lee. He has 5 steals in 11 minutes, and most of them are just taking the ball from guys like Logan Lee. So Hawaii needs to play with patience offensively, but conversely, Southern Illinois needs to try and get the ball, get out and run, get an easy bucket, get a 5-8-point lead, because they're not a particularly good free throw shooting team, especially their best free throw shooter is not their best player in Darren Brooks.
Now Kubler just being hounded by Hairston. The defense is so impressive. Sensley. Blackett, and he turns it over. Exactly what you said they can't do, Doug.
Yeah, you have to make sound, fundamental plays, fundamental passes. Well, at least now they're set in their defense because Southern Illinois has not been effective in their half-court offense. And Josh Warren has been effective at that block, though. That's why he subbed in the basketball game.
They're trying to work it right here over Sensley. Can't get it to go. And Blackett comes out of there with a rebound. Hawaii could tie it with a 3. They haven't hit one all night. Could pull one with a 2.
Kubler's 19 games in a row with a three-point shot. I'll be surprised if he tries to pull one right here.
They try to get it inside, and Owen gets called for the foul.
Well, the same flex pick, and again, Blackett wasn't open, but Kubler tried to force it in there. They kind of got lucky. Owen was hanging on his offensive player. And a chance for a couple freebies.
17 fouls on Southern Illinois. Hawaii's been to the line 13 times, hit 11 of them. Just 7 free throws in the game for SIU. So Blackett goes to the line for a 1-and-1, about an 80% free throw shooter on the year.
Guys from Ogden, Utah, guys from anywhere in Utah can always shoot free throws. I don't know what it is. You grow up playing AAU basketball in the Western United States, play against a Utah team, you don't want to foul. They can all shoot free throws.
Perhaps the secret for you would have been growing up in Utah. There you go. Now Blackett hits them both. 16 now for Jeff Blackett. 60-59. Southern Illinois by the narrowest of margins.
What a ball game. Hawaii has just hung around, and kept Southern Illinois in the half-court game where they have not been effective.
Again, playing without their starting center, Haim Shivanovic. He's back home with a knee injury. He'll join the team for that game against UTEP on Monday night. Phil Martin gets called for the foul there. Number 2 on him. That is number 6 on Hawaii. So Hawaii is shooting on every foul. Southern Illinois will be shooting on the next one. Just do get it in. They've had some problems with that.
And credit Riley Wallace. He drilled them in their pregame shoot-around. They actually went 5-on-5, going up against each other man-to-man, and defending the out-of-bounds plays was one of his focus points.
On the block, Brooks can't get it to go, but look at Lamar Owen. What a follow! Holy cow! Unbelievable. Now the steal by Young. Oh, my. That was something.
I was waiting for your voice to come back. Lamar Owen is a crowd favorite. Watch, he passes into the post. Darren Brooks, oh, you got an easy one, but follow it, big fella. He learned that on the soccer field. He's Mr. Soccer in Kentucky, and that's the kind of play you make on a soccer field. Oh.
That was huge.
Got the backboard touch, too.
And Brooks misses a free throw.
Now, here's what I was talking about. Darren Brooks, only a 62% free throw shooter. Watch, he's got his eyes on the rim, and, oh, you got to box out, Hawaii. Got to box out. But Darren Brooks, only a 62% free throw shooter. And he was 9 for 10 during their last game against Evansville. So you see, he was a 50% free throw shooter. That's why Southern Illinois can't play without him. But in some sense, they can't play with him at the end of a big game because he's such a poor free throw shooter.
They have tied the school record now for steals with 21.
Well, we saw him against Creighton, and he missed a couple easy bunnies free throws there.
Blackett, nice feed inside. Kubler gets fouled on the way up.
Oh, he got mugged there. Again, the flex offense, knowing who your cutters are, making solid passes inside. That time they turned down a couple of cutters, got the ball to Blackett, and he fed Kubler. Now gets 2 free ones.
First one on Stetson Hairston. Kubler going to go to the line. Very good free throw shooter, as you'd imagine. But he misses that one.
75% free throw shooter. That's his second miss of the night. He needs to make this one. 2-point game. Still 1-possession game. And listen to the crowd.
They respond to Lamar Owen.
They love him.
They absolutely love him. Kubler with one more. He's got it. 15 for Michael Kubler. It is a 2-point game as we come under a minute. Southern Illinois beat Wisconsin-Milwaukee on a buzzer beater last year in the bracket buster. We're coming down to the wire again in Carbondale, perhaps for another great finish.
Now look for Darren Brooks to try and create something off the dribble as the shot clock goes down.
Shot clock down under 10. Hairston working around the corn screen. Brooks, the three.
That's not exactly what I call playing the percentages, Dave. Shoots in the 20s for three, but you know what? If you want to be conference play of the year, you want to take a team, piggyback them, take them on your back, got to knock down the biggies. How about Derek Brooks?
It is so trite, but it's so true. The big players make the big plays, Doug. I mean, that is not a shot they want. This guy is less than 30% behind the arc on the season, but he comes up with a huge one right there.
Well, there's a reason that we say they're cliches. People say them all the time. But you know what? That cliche was started for a reason. They're trying to take a second look and see if this is a three-point shot. He's well behind the three-point shot.
I'm not really sure what the issue was there.
Winston Stith right in front, raises his hands, three-point shot. Well, still plenty of time. Now, 5-point difference. I'm Hawaii. I go for a quick two. And Southern Illinois does have some weaknesses at the free throw line, namely Darren Brooks, although, you know, his weakness is supposed to be shooting the three-point shot as well. He just knocked that down.
That's a two-possession game either way. So at some point, you're going to have to get a two. Are you surprised Riley Wallace hasn't called the timeout here to talk about this thing as critical possession, obviously?
No, it just allows Southern Illinois to set their defense. Now he gets a chance to push. Now there's your timeout. Guess he wanted it at the half court. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and run a back door. Now on the other hand, Matt Painter's going to say, you know what, fellas? They burned us with some back doors today. Sylvester Willis, Brad Korn, who's ever the big guy in the back, you got to stay in and help.
Well, we told you about the buzzer beater last year. Bracket Buster Saturday last season. Darren Brooks took the shot, and Stetson Hairston there for the game winner against Wisconsin-Milwaukee. This a game that a lot of people think got Southern Illinois into the NCAA tournament as an at-large. They led by as many as 16 early in the second half. Wisconsin-Milwaukee made the great run. And then it was Stetson Hairston coming through huge.
And it kind of reminds me of the dunk that Lamar Owen had that broke open this game. I got a chance to play for Eddie Sutton for 3 years at Oklahoma State, and he would always say, it's not the first shot that gets you, it's the second, especially in big possessions. And then the dagger in the heart after the Lamar Owen dunk is when your best player steps up and says, you know, my weakness is a three, but I'm playing at home, I'm feeling it.
Sensley for three. The Rainbow Warriors still have not hit a three-pointer in this game. Owen gets fouled, and that could be it, Doug.
That could just about do it. But listen, Hawaii has a lot to be very proud of in this game. They still have a chance to win the WAC regular season championship. They go down Monday and play at UTEP. And they've competed hard here tonight without their starting center. And they've had a great year so far without Carl English, who they expected to be back in a Rainbow Warrior uniform.
Absolutely nothing to be ashamed of for Hawaii, as they've given, as we told you, arguably after Gonzaga, the best mid-major in the country, a heck of a game in a building where they have won 37 of their last 38 games.
How about the clean braids here from Lamar Owen? Did you see him touch up his braids?
I got to admit, I wasn't really paying attention to that.
I was. It's a great look.
Now Kubler, as we wind down to the final 10 seconds. Kubler, the pull-up, not there. And that pretty much the game in a nutshell for Hawaii. Just frustration and unable to get anything going.
Yeah, great scatter report basketball by Southern Illinois. They know that Kubler has to hit three-point shots. He has not had many open looks. They defended with intensity from the time they stepped. Their offense stunk in early in the first half. And their offense really wasn't that good in the second half, but they found a way to get an ugly enough defensive basketball game that they got easy shots.
Phil Martin hitting the free throw right there. And Doug, how huge a blow do you think this is to Hawaii in terms of the at-large hopes?
Well, you know, I mean, it's a reach to think they were going to get in unless, as an at-large, unless they won these next two games. But look, they still have the WAC Conference Tournament Championship. And remember, that conference tournament is played in Fresno this year, not in Tulsa. Probably be a new champion.
20 for Phil Martin, and that is going to do it. as they storm the court here in Carbondale, Illinois. You're number 21 in the nation. What are you storming the court for?
Well, you storm the court because you're on national TV. And look, Carbondale's rocking tonight. You got a chance to start this game late at night? How about the fan participation? I thought they were huge in this victory.
Well, it's a tremendous win for Southern Illinois. Again, a chance to strut their stuff on national TV. They know they're going to be into the tournament barring an epic collapse, Doug. But here they made a statement about seeding.
Yeah, and they're trying to get the seed that keeps them home. They don't want to go to Seattle. They don't want to be shipped. They say, hey, look, we want a top 4 seed. That keeps us in this region.
Our final score, Southern Illinois 66, Hawaii 62. Sports Center comes your way next. For Doug Gottlieb and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dave Revson. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Lamaro and company dunking the Rainbow Warriors.